Welcome to the What is Stoicism podcast.
The very fact that each of us has made it to this present moment means we have already coped, at least adequately, with all the past events that once seemed almost impossibly difficult. We don't often give ourselves enough credit for that. Instead, we tend to ruminate over something more recent or worry about something that hasn't yet happened. We forget the tough times we've already lived through and the difficulties we've already proven ourselves capable of enduring. We fool ourselves into thinking that this time will be different, that this is the challenge that will finally defeat us. And yet our past selves, if they could speak, would surely tell another story. They'd remind us of the fear we once felt, the uncertainty we once carried, the burdens we once thought might crush us. And they'd also remind us that we endured them. They'd urge us not to lose faith now. They'd plead with us not to forget the foundations they worked so hard to build. They'd be proud that we've made it this far. This is very much the spirit we find in Seneca's Consolation to Marcia, a letter the Stoic statesman wrote to comfort his friend in the aftermath of her son's death. Seneca begins by reminding Marcia of the strength she's shown before. Her courage, he says, has already been tested. Her mind has already been strengthened by severe trials. That history isn't irrelevant to her present grief. It's the very reason she has cause for confidence now. In one of his most vivid images, Seneca explains why it's useful to recall old sufferings in moments of present distress. He says that he's reminded Marcia of past misfortunes so that, by showing her the scar of an earlier wound, he may help her see that this latest lash stroke will heal as well. It's a striking metaphor. A scar isn't a denial that we were wounded. It's proof that we were wounded and survived. The same's true for us. Whatever hardships we've faced, and we've all faced them in one form or another, we carry the marks of having endured. Perhaps we didn't handle them perfectly. Perhaps we stumbled, panicked, or grieved more deeply than we thought we should. But still we made it through. And in doing so, we gained something. A little more experience, a little more resilience, a little more evidence that we're capable of bearing what life places before us. We all carry, in effect, a mental scrapbook of misfortunes. Yet how often do we look at it constructively? How often do we see it not merely as a record of pain, but as an endorsement of our bravery? How often do we let it serve as proof of strength of mind? Seneca would urge us to do exactly that. Whatever lash stroke you're nursing today, it too will heal, just as others have. Have confidence that you can cope with what comes next just as you coped with what came before. You're strong enough, and more than that, you're getting stronger. This stoic confidence isn't based on vague optimism. It rests on a deeper understanding of what it is that truly determines whether we're broken by events or remain inwardly steady. The Stoic teacher Epictetus puts this point in a sharp and memorable way. Goodness is essentially a certain state of will, and so is badness. What he means is that what truly matters is not the external event itself, but the judgments we make about it. External things, events, other people, reputation, wealth, illness, loss, even threats, don't determine good and bad on their own. They're simply materials presented to the will. Our faculty of judgment then goes to work on those materials, assigning meaning, value, and importance to them. This is why, for the Stoics, the condition of the will is everything. If our judgments are sound, then our will remains in a good state. If our judgments are warped, exaggerated, or confused, then our will is in a bad one. To judge things correctly is to see them for what they are. It's to strip away the false values that have been attached to them, often by custom, fear, vanity, or the distorted opinions of other people. That's no easy task, but it is a liberating one. And the good news is that no one else's faculty of judgment can prevail over our own, unless we allow it to. However dramatically someone else interprets an event, however greatly they exaggerate its consequences, we still retain the ability to look at it ourselves, directly and objectively. Epictetus illustrates this with an extreme example. Suppose he says a tyrant threatens me and summons me before him. What am I threatened with, he asks. If the tyrant says, I will clap you in irons, then he's threatening my hands and feet. If he says, I will cut off your head, then he's threatening my neck. If he says, I will imprison you, then he's threatening my whole body. And if he says he will banish me, the same principle applies. So he does not actually threaten you at all, someone asks. Yes, Epictetus replies, that's right, as long as I feel these things are nothing to me. But if any of those prospects makes me afraid, then he threatens me. That's the crucial point. The tyrant's power isn't absolute. It depends on whether I've judged these threatened externals to be true evils. If I have, then I become vulnerable. If I haven't, then my will remains my own. This perspective connects powerfully with Seneca's reminder about our past hardships. The reason earlier difficulties can strengthen us is that they teach us, slowly and imperfectly, what really threatens us and what doesn't. They show us that much of what we once feared as unbearable turned out to be bearable after all. They teach us that events themselves don't always have the final say over the condition of our inner life. The wound healed, the scar remained, and from it we learned. So when difficulty confronts us now, perhaps the task isn't merely to remember that we've survived before, but to remember why. We survived not only because time passed, but because the human spirit is more resilient than fear first suggests. We survived because external blows, though painful, don't automatically determine the state of our will. That part remains, in a deep sense, our responsibility. And if that's true, then we have reason for courage. We can meet the next challenge not with naive certainty that it will be easy, but with the earned confidence that we are not helpless before it. Our past selves have already given us evidence. Our scars have already testified. Our task now is to believe them.